In this video, I'm going to show you how to populate a space plan or do a space planning for the first floor of this building, just to give you an example of how you use space blocks and organize them. The first thing I'm going to do is set up some views that I'm going to need. And the 3D view is great, but it'd be nice to see this in floor plan too. So I'm going to go to the levels, and since we're dealing with level 1, I created a duplicate of level 1 and made it so that masses would appear. And also, so I'm going to open that. Okay, turn a lot of other things off and hid them that I don't need. So just focus on my masses. And then also, let's see here. Let's go into Edit and Visibility Graphics. And we look here under Design Option Sets, you'll see Conceptual Mass and Space Planning, and I created those two sets earlier. You'll notice that this now is set to automatic. And what automatic means is whatever design option is made active at that time is what will appear in that particular view. Unlike the other views that I created in 3D, where only one type of design or one design option would appear, a fixed one. So this is new atrium option and is open right now, and so it's the one that appears here. If I were to change round at lobby atrium, notice that other one disappears and this one appears now. Okay, so you can make it so that it will automatically change rather than be specific to a view. And so with that done, I'm going to hit WT here. Oh, I minimize that. Let's hit WT. And so I've got my 3D view up here and my 2D, which I'm going to find. And of course, this is sliced through that first floor. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but when it slices, it makes everything red, even though technically the only things that should be red are the elevators, the service core that I put in earlier. So let's look at our space area takeoff. And if we look on the first floor, okay, this is what it's supposed to be on the first floor. And you'll see there's supposed to be some kind of active lobby space, which I'm using the atrium to do that. And eventually there's probably going to be some kind of MDF thing that's going to be in there. And then shipping and receiving, which is a fairly small space. And part of that is the service elevator, which I've already placed in. So I subtracted the service elevator out of that and got down to 1,000 square feet. And then on the employee cafe, you see that there's 4 spaces, but I just treated it as one space since all these have to be kind of interlocked. And then this is an outdoor area. So I just want to make sure that I locate a portion of my cafe space close to the exterior wall so I can have access to an outdoor area. And that's 24,036. 2,436. And then the Health and Wellness Center, which is 3,156. And then the Conference and Training Center, which is 2,512. Okay, and so I just made major blocks of those. Later, as I develop the floor plan and I'm kind of comfortable with where it is, and then I've got enough square footage in there, then I'll come in and maybe create blocks or a floor plan in schematic design for actual layouts of the spaces themselves. So here are my 4 major spaces that go on this besides the service and service core and the elevators and that stuff. And so what I'm going to do now is go to my floor plan though and place them, because it's just so much easier to move them around and put them in position to where I want. Well, I'd sketched out on a piece of paper first kind of how I thought I wanted to arrange these based on this is going to be a plaza here. So I wanted the cafe to actually confront the plaza and front the whole space, with the back here being the kitchen. So I'm just going to move that. Select it, use the move command, and move that in right there. Okay, and of course it has the same problem before that it's joined. So first thing I'm going to do is unjoin geometry, and then I want to cut it from the bigger object. So let's see if I can cut it. Okay, so now you see that it cut out. So I unjoined it, now it's cut out. And I may make it longer right here and narrower to take up that additional space here. We'll just have to see as I develop it along. I wouldn't get over concerned about if I got space left over or too much space. That right there is my conference center, and I want my conference center to sit right in here, so that it's the first thing as you come through by the stairwell and all that, and you enter the conference center area. And I'm thinking of making a little secondary lobby kind of right here that becomes the elevator and stairs lobby. And so I'm going to slide that in there, and I'm going to measure what the distance is from here to here. Now I know that I made this 90 feet, so, and I made this one intentionally 30 feet, so it'd be 1/3 of that space. So this is 60 feet, but because I'm in plan, I can use the little dimension here and measure it, and you can see it's 60 feet. Okay, so that's the conference center. So I made it 60 by 42 or something like that. And so I'm going to rotate it because I know it's 60. And I'm just going to kind of plop it in here. Once again, let's unjoin that. That should do it. And let's see if we can cut it into place. And then I'm just going to use the align tool to align it to these other forms. So I should be able to align that. Let's just move it then. Okay. So now we have our conference room in there. And of course I can push and shove that if I wanted it narrower or wider, but it seems to going to fit fairly well. The conference room, I may need more space in it. Now remember, these are net spaces, so this is the space that I require in addition to the walls. In other words, I have to have walls and hallways and stuff like that, so I'll need more space. This is just net, it's not gross space I need for this. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab this other one, which is the wellness center. And of course I wanted it back here in the back, but in the far back, what I decided I wanted was the shipping and receiving, because I plan on having a shipping dock and everything for that right here. And so I put my shipping and receiving back here. So I'm just going to go grab shipping and receiving really quick and move it back there too. Okay, so it's going to go in right there somewhere. And so let's pop those in there. Let's cut them in. They don't seem to be joined, so let's see if I can cut them in without unjoining them. Yeah, can. Okay, and so I'm going to try a line again. Okay, worked that time. And let's align to this. And it worked that time. I'm not going to lock it in right now because I may want to move those around. And then I want this. Let's go ahead and cut this out too. So I'm going to go cut. And you can see why I put both of these views up, because it's much easier to just to flip back and forth from one view to the next. So I'm going to cut this with this, and then I'm going to align. Let's get in here, align this with this. Let's just move it. Okay. And then notice, I'd really like to have a larger space right in here. The service elevator works. It could be right here. My loading dock could be right in here or whatever. But I really want this space to go ahead and take up all of this volume right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it to there and lock it to that. And then I want it, and that will make it, if I look at it, that will make it 1,300 square feet. And it only needs to be 1,000. So let's pull it back to just to the service elevator. Okay, and that's 1,007 right there. And since I'm on a 2x2 grid, a design grid, I'm going to go ahead and just make this 38 feet. Okay, so that it fits on the design grid. So now I have my general layout. Maybe I want, those to line up. Right now, I'm really not worried about that kind of little fine detail. This I'm going to use as a lobby, and I extend my cafe into that kind of lobby space. And I'll have a little bit more seating area. And now I'm going to use this as a lobby. So this is how you use the space blocks. Once again, that you have space left over, not a big deal. We can deal with that later. If it becomes 50% of the footprint, then okay, maybe we need to reshape the form to fit. Here we can use this as kind of hallway and access space. We might include it as part of the health and wellness center. We might push and pull some of these as we define what kind of spaces are going to be in here. But I kind of like this overall layout on first floor. So there's my first floor layout using program blocks.